He is ready. So we are about to get it going. So you guys are watching the Simeon Henderson Show, where we're giving a voice to the people. And my guest, Mr. E.B. Elijah Baker. It's about to go down. He should be coming in any second. There he is, the one and the only. What's going on, brother?
Hey, how you doing, brother? How you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. What side of the country are you on right now?
I'm in old Dallas, Texas right now, man.
Oh, so you have that good weather going on right now out there.
Yes, sir.
So Elijah, can I call you EB?
You call whatever you want to, brother.
Okay. So EB, I'm gonna get into it. I got the people online. They're gonna be coming in, and I just want to do this interview to just get into the mind of you, and for future musicians and entertainers and people like that. There are a lot of ups and downs and do's and don'ts in the business, and you have to understand the business part of it, which a lot of people they see the fame and they want the money, but there's a lot that goes into it. Now, I'll start with this. Where did it all start?
Be more specific. Just a little bit.
When I say where did it start? For you, with the music, going into Tony Tone Toni, where did it start?
As a musician, or
as a musician, where did you start? Where did you start as a musician?
in the church. My father
in the church.
My father was a guitarist, man, and you know, back then you didn't have a lot of video games and stuff, so that the amplifier and guitar was like a toy.
Right.
And we used to idolize Pops playing, and we just picked it up and took it from there.
Yeah, especially if you're in a church, you either did one or two things. You sang in a choir or you played an instrument.
We had groups, quartet groups back in the day. My father was a quartet gospel singer, so we was already band orientated from watching him with a quartet group. You know, they had the rhythm section and they had the three singers in the front. So we grew up on that format.
Okay, so speaking about groups, let me ask you this: what was the first group that you started? What was the name of the first group that you started? Spicy. I saw that. I saw that in the documentary. So everybody, the documentary I mentioned is Loyalty, No Royalty, the breakup of Tony Tone Toni. And that was so funny to me. It was spicy. And when people go and look at it and they see you, they'll understand why it was named Spicy.
Yeah, man. Caliente.
Right. So let me ask you this. So when the group Spicy, were there any members of Tony Tone Toni in that group?
Antron Hill.
Antron Hill, right. Okay. Yeah. So, and what did Antron Hill play?
Keyboards and synthesizers.
He's the keyboard guy. Is he the guy that Ice Cream? Is that Ice Cream?
That's Ice Cream.
Okay. So that's Ice Cream, right? So you guys started off with Spicy. Now, did you guys just do, I know you traveled to churches and did and played songs and did things at churches. Did you guys go outside of the church and do?
Yeah, we played it. You know, we had a high school band. We played all the top 40 songs, and also we did nightclubs. You know, whatever came around that time. So we did basic local stuff. Played all the Prince and Time music and Cameo.
Right.
Yeah.
All the stuff people wanted to hear
at that time. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's go into this. So when we talk about Tony Tone Toni, how were you brought into that group?
I was brought in that group through Raphael, my first cousin. Him, Tim, and Carl Wheeler graduated together in '84, and they went on to play with Sheila E. And Raphael connection with Dwayne being his older half brother. They formed them three with Dwayne, and they became did a couple shows and even recorded a single called One Night Stand, which was horrible. I repeat, it was horrible.
He said it was horrible. Why was it so horrible?
It's on YouTube, man. Go back and listen to it. It's called One Night Stand. It was trash. But we played it like it was, man, we played like it was a #1 smash. So our performance outweighed the single. So
I was about to say your performance was probably better than the original.
Yes, it was.
Okay. So doing these different competitions, I know that. So with Tony Toni, I saw in the documentary, it was almost like you came in because you were Raphael's cousin.
Correct.
So, but looking at you in there, you look like you totally belong, period. I mean, you brought energy, you brought talent, you brought so much pizzazz to the group and style to the group. To me, it looked like you were supposed to be there. So if you were there by default, it was good for them.
It was a good default. Like I'm explaining the whole scenario. Like Dwayne was the original lead singer at first.
Okay.
Raphael played the bass majority of the time. So so Raphael, Tim, and Carl was used to playing with each other. So even at that time, Carl didn't like really playing with me because he was used to how Raphael played.
Okay.
But we were still all cool, but he still preferred to play Raphael because they was a unit. So right. I had to grow on him. Like there's a laugh because they played Church of God in Christ. They was more advanced than me because I was more like a street dude. So I wasn't really into it, the music like they was.
Right.
So, but Raphael being my first cousin and he wanted better for me, he brought me along because he knew I could dance and perform and all that stuff. So once I started doing that and adding to the group, and they did the showcase, the record company saw fit that Raphael be the lead singer and Dwayne slide over to the side. So they used to perform without us and they didn't have no stage presence. So the record company sent me out there and I changed the whole magic of it.
So two things. One thing, before I get into the choreography and the dancing that you brought to the table, and you gave them that style. Before I get to that, what I wanted to mention is this. You and Raphael, you guys played the same instrument.
Correct.
So if you guys playing the same instrument, what was the need of you being in the group?
That's what I'm saying. They brought me. I was like a Jerome at that time, to add the extra.
Right.
I was a dancer, you know what I mean? But I could play, but Raphael just found a way to pull me in. So, like I said, that's why I always thought they felt like you just should be happy to be here. We pulled you in, we didn't need you. But they ended up needing me,
Right.
But it's intention like, let me just bring you in here, cuz.
Okay. So here we go. Now let's get to this part. So now we talk about you being there. Now you were I call it the glue, because there's with acting, there's always that third character or that third level or that fourth level, the person or the thing that you don't see, right? That thing that brings that it factor. You were the it factor because they were playing the instruments, they were singing, but now they're missing that stage presence and they're missing that entertainment piece. And here you come. I call you the dancing machine. Which is I see you still do a lot of dancing now. But what was that like for you? And where'd you get that, you being a street guy, where'd you get those moves from?
My household, man, Soul Train, my father was a great dancer. So genetically I already had it.
Okay.
So that's the whole truth. My father was a good dancer like I was a good dancer. And he used to walk around and show me the slop and the mashed potatoes, back in his heyday. So I naturally picked that up just like I naturally picked up playing an instrument through him genetically.
Okay. So I know that your dad inspired you to want to play the guitar, right?
Right.
Because your dad was a bass player.
No, he's a guitarist.
I'm sorry, your dad was a guitarist.
Yes.
So that's what inspired you to want to play the guitar?
Yes.
And now, did you have siblings?
Yes. My brother, it was 5 of us. I was the youngest. Everybody in the house knew how to play something on the guitar.
Wait, it was 5 brothers?
No. 3 boys, 2 girls.
You know I was going with that, don't you?
Greg. Yeah, I know. Greg, Gwen, Cassandra, Eric, Kenya, and myself.
The Jackson 5. The Baker 5. And
we was in a gospel group together. We was in a gospel group, the Holy Messengers, along with the Palmers. So we sung together once upon a time in our life.
Okay. So let me get into this. What were some of the best times? Because I want to do both. But I want to start with the best times. What were some of the best times with Tony Toni for you?
When you first heard your song on the radio, when you first saw your music video, and just the natural bond we had as kids, practical jokes, and when money wasn't an issue, just young kid, young adult fun, you know, all the girls and clubbing. That was the most fun.
So let me ask this. I kind of know the answer to this, but who was the ladies' man? Like, who was the one that every time you turned around, they had a different lady, they had 2 or 3 ladies. There was somebody that always kept the women next to them.
Well, you already know for a fact that the lead singer gets the most. He didn't get the most in Chicago. I got the most in Chicago.
You know, I'm in Chicago.
Overwhelmingly love me. But the lead singer automatically gets the green light on the most. But Dwayne was on his bumpers too. You know, everybody, man, it was nobody lacking nowhere. Ain't nobody went empty-handed. So it was plenty to go around. You know, you perform in front of 10,000. If you can't get a girl, you know, there's something wrong. So, but you know, the lead singer always got more.
So now, I need to know this, and I know a lot of people want to know this. What was it like for you? I mean, you're going on Soul Train, Oprah Winfrey, the Arsenio Hall show, the Late Show, all that. What was that like as a young black man being on these nationally syndicated televised shows for the whole world to see you? Because everybody saw you.
Let me be honest with you. It was kind of like a natural progression. Like it was normal for me because, you know, as a musician, you kind of like already a star,
right,
in your environment. So you got the same type of treatment. If you're a good performer, I don't give you if you're a local guy and you're good, you get the same reaction everywhere. So it was normal to me. It wasn't like, oh wow, I finally made it. The record deal, list yourself on the radio and see yourself on TV.
Right.
That was the highlights. Everything else was normal, no matter how big the crowd was.
Right. And I get that because being a musician, you play in your hometown, everybody come out. So you got a big crowd there and then you start moving from city to city. So you're used to these big crowds. So I get it. It's just that it's the same thing, but more exposure. Right. So you're used to it. I get that. So, but let me ask this. So you guys are out there, you're performing, people are loving you, and you guys are getting to the next level. And when did it start to just spiral down? Like, when did it start going bad?
It started going bad towards the second album when we was like at the peak of our success, the climax. Revival, you know, Feels Good, Born, I mean, Baby, you know, the Southern California. We did the first 2 videos, Blues and then Feels Good. And then Southern California, that's when they made the video with just the 3.
Okay. So now you talk about that. I want to get that. There was a point where you guys were going places. A red carpet event it was in the documentary. You guys pulled up and there's lights, camera, action. There's all these people out, the media and everything is out. And they get out the car. And when you guys are about to get out the car, they tell you to wait.
Yes.
So,
let me explain that whole picture. Like I said, at this moment, all 6 of us signed to the contract.
Exactly.
We was officially all members. So we made it. Like the record was successful. Now here you go to celebrate your gold plaque, and we was all juiced in the limo as a unit of 6, 7 members, and you know that's what Jubal added to the group at that moment. So we was all excited, and then man, soon as we got to the place, I mean it was cameras everywhere. Right. All top tier stations and Entertainment Tonight, you know, all the big boys. So we get ready to get out the car, man. They hold on, we like close the door on us, man, and that's when it went all bad.
Oh man, I can only imagine. I would have been so pissed.
We was,
I would have.
but like I said in the documentary, the party was cracking. It was so many different celebrities that you was excited to see. You just like, okay, let me get over this moment. But as soon as we got done, it was a wrap.
So now, here we go. So I get that. So you guys know that this is a business as well, right? Correct. So you're in this business, and you know that you have your 3 lead singers, and you guys are the musicians. Well, you're the glue between the choreography and the dancing, and you guys playing the music. That's just as important, right?
Right.
So,
Dwayne,
hey Dwayne.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. It was only 2 singers. Tim, the third Tony, played drums, so he was just a rhythm section guy. Like he didn't have. It was times he couldn't even perform when me and Raphael and Dwayne had to perform because he wasn't a dancer. He wasn't an entertainer. He was part of music production and he was a drummer, but he add nothing to that visual. So yeah, man, it had to be a band set up for Tony Tone to perform. So for them to just extract them 3, it never could work because they could never go perform as Tony Tone with that sound and that look, because you have no keyboards just on the song. You have Ray singing lead, so he ain't playing the bass. So them components was empty, so you can't do it.
So even though they tried to highlight certain people, it wasn't nothing happening without all of you guys as one cohesive unit.
Yeah, because they weren't like the OJs. You know what I'm saying? Right. The OJs go out and get down with any band because they all 3 songs. You know, it wasn't the same. They was the entertainers. There was the principals. It wasn't the same for the Tonys. They just, man, I think they really did it because of the complexion of the skin, truthfully.
Yeah, okay. And see, so, oh man, I'm glad you said that. So now you talk about looking at you guys, right?
Right.
They were lighter skinned. You guys, you were darker skinned. And it's almost like that thing where you got to put the black in the back.
Yes.
I like to say, you know, and light is right. And we know this is a reality, especially back in the day and coming up to now, and even still now, we have those issues. But what I want to know, and I know people want to know, is how did you personally deal with a lot of the negative things and the letdowns? Because now you're talking about Raphael's your first cousin. Now,
like my brother.
Like your brother. So
at the time.
At the time, right? Yeah. So did this cause a divide between you guys as family along with the rest of the members of the group?
No, like I was in denial about the whole thing. I couldn't register that was happening, or didn't think that it could happen, or if it did happen, it would get fixed from our relationship. So I never even banked on it to go this far. I thought if anything, we can resolve it because we was all super close.
Right. So was that the case? Were you guys able to resolve it?
Me and Raphael always had a bond all the way through the ups and downs because I was in denial. Okay. So I wouldn't believe the things that was being done to me. I was just being denial. But although people would tell me, hey man, you know, such a thing, or women would say, hey, you know, and I was just ignore it because I'm like, hey man, that ain't, nah, he wouldn't do that. But the whole time he was doing it. Because I feel like Raphael, if he wanted to compensate for that, he's been a part. He had 4 solo albums. I ain't never write on any one of them, which I'm very capable of doing. He's he had positions where he had record companies. He could have signed me as an artist, which he never done. He had plenty of opportunities. He had put me as a bass player and go on tour with him. I was with Lucy Pearl as a bass player. You know, hired musician. But I had way more. I could write songs. I could produce. I could do the same thing he doing. But
so in other words, he was in a position to really keep you on this train and moving and growing as an artist along the way, no matter how successful.
And a producer,
and a producer.
Yeah.
So you were like the trifecta. You could play, you could dance, and you could produce. So there was no need for you.
Sing.
And can sing.
Yes.
So somebody said money has a negative effect in relationship and friendships. Do you believe that you can be friends and relatives and still do business together? I think you can.
Of course you can. It's all about communication.
And integrity.
Integrity, morals, everything. Like when we addressed the houses and cars, that was their time to be like, okay, they know. Let's compensate them and just, but their ego drove them to, oh well,
right. And that's somebody,
that's
somebody, right. And somebody said, depending on the individual, yes, that's true. Now let me ask you this: so during the time there, I watched the documentary, and you talked about when you guys realized they were getting new cars and things like that, and your first car, your dad co-signed for you. Your dad and your stepmom co-signed for you, right?
Correct.
And you got that drop top and the
BMW,
slip. Yeah, the drop top BMW. But
and I heard they didn't like I got it either.
Of course. What? Because we'll come back to that. But here we go. So you're talking about, I saw when they talked about the points. Like, you guys didn't realize and know that they were getting points and different things and money off of the records and how the business part was going. Why were you guys in the dark on that, on the business aspect?
Okay, that's a good question. I'm going to explain it to my best possible way. When we did Lil Walter, just the three of them were signed to a production deal without us, and we knew that. That caused the first, problems. Right. But we stomached it. But the second album, the producers, Tommy and Denny, breached the contract. So we was able to get out that bad production deal. Well, they was able to get out that bad production deal. By that time, the record company seen the value in all 6 members.
Right.
And they signed us all directly to the label. But in our mind, they were still signed and we wasn't.
Oh, okay.
Because we still programmed to how it was on the first record.
Right.
Although we signed the paper, but nobody explained to us what we were signing. This is our cousins, our family. They never told you, okay, you're an equal member, you're getting this, and this is what you do. Nah, we just signed it and they could take care of the business because we was trusting and naive at that time.
Because you guys didn't know the business part of it.
Correct.
Yeah. And that's what happens when and it's cool to trust people, but I always tell people knowledge is power. When you know what's going on and you have to have a say, you have to be able to sit in on these meetings. I mean, you're out there playing, you're sweating and you're making it happen. So you should be privy to all the information that everybody is privy to. And you trusted them to be fair, as somebody just said. You trusted them to be fair, and they weren't. So let me ask you this. So now you're going through this. How did it detour you from wanting to be a musician and play?
No, but it never deterred me. But see, me being a musician was never my primary goal. Me just making money was. I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I knew I could do it. I was just had a hustler mentality, and I'm going to get some money one way or the other.
And your gift, but being a musician and singing, that was your gift.
Yeah, that was your gift. They tore me down, and they didn't let me be expressively in my input. That it kind of stumped my growth, and I didn't have a desire because they wouldn't allow me to add what I had to offer. So I kind of just not even trip, just play my part and just with that. So they killed my desire to grow as a musician.
So the passion wasn't there. It became a job.
It became a job, but I knew how to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I want some money. You know what I'm saying? I came up in the crack era. All my friends was rich from selling dope. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Okay.
I wanted some money because I didn't want to sell no dope, and I wasn't gonna sell no dope. But I wanted some money, and we made it, and I just wanted my issue. That's it. You know what I'm saying? I wanted my issue. So, But yeah, they killed my desire to want to go learn songs and be the best bass player I could be, because they wouldn't allow me to add nothing to it. Anytime I overplay, Raphael would make me don't do that. So I just had to always play the song, which was cool because it made me a better disciplined bass player, but I could have been more advanced if
he kind of stifled you. They kind of stifled your growth.
100%.
So let me ask you this. Now, when you talk about fame and fortune and money and musicians and things like that, was there ever a time, and I'm just asking questions, was there ever a time when when drugs became prevalent, or just the negative part of the industry, the fame, the money, the women, the drugs, and things? Were there ever things that held you guys back when it came to those type of things?
Not at all. You know, I'm gonna tell you something strange about that. From doing the promotional tour, it was so exhausting. Like, we from the West Coast, Pacific time, right? We travel to the East Coast, so we already 3 hours behind. We already staying up late anyway, 2 o'clock in the morning West Coast time. But our day started 6 a.m. on the East Coast, doing radio interviews, record stores signing autographs, and then performing at the club at nighttime.
Okay.
We did this 6 weeks straight.
Wow.
So we ain't get no rest. I said to myself, I see why people be on drugs. But it never gave me desire to be on drugs. But I understood.
Right. Yeah. And some people they can't cope with the stress and the everyday wear and tear of all of that. And so they need these stimulants and different things. It's like when I played sports, I was so scared because I grew up on the west side of Chicago, and I saw people in my family that sold drugs, people that did drugs, was alcoholics, and I was so scared of what it would do to me that I wouldn't dare touch it. And I said I would find a way to cope and get through things without drugs. Now, looking at everything that you've been doing and the things that you've gone through, where are you at now when it comes to performing? Are you in a new group? What are you doing now?
I'm a CEO of my own record label, Ambitious Records. I have a group, I have a record on Park Avenue, my solo project. It's more or less Quincy Jones driven. I got a lot of features on it. I got Raphael Sadiq, I got Too Short, I got E40, I got Adrian Marcel. I have other people like Mario Corbino, Silky, Dee, Doobie Powell. So I have plenty of assistants on the group, but I produced everything. I wrote it while I was incarcerated.
Oh, wow. Oh, okay, here we go. I'm going to come back to that.
Okay.
And because I have questions about, you working with people. My niece and my son, they're in the business, and they're young and they're good, but it's one of those things where you have to have the right people and know the right people. So listening to what you're doing, I see that you started your own thing, which is what you should have been doing a long time ago, but you're there now. Yeah. And when you talk about, I'm not going to jump over this. Let's go back. You said you were incarcerated.
Yes.
How long were you incarcerated for, and what were you incarcerated for?
I was incarcerated for 4 years, and I was in for a credit card fraud.
Wow. Now here we go. So that's a blue collar crime, right?
White collar.
Oh no, I'm sorry. No, my bad. That's a white collar crime. That's you up there. That's federal.
Yes, I would have figured.
That's what I was about to say. That's federal. Yeah. So, man, what made you do that? Like, the times must have been hard at some point, and what made you want to get in that life? Because that's not, when you get in that, if you get caught, you're going down.
I didn't want to do anything.
Right.
First and foremost, I was with a successful group who showed me the life. Like, I didn't have the money, but I had the life of a rich person. I was 5-star everything. So, clothes, food,
Yeah.
Living, you know, so I was used to a certain lifestyle.
Right.
I didn't even look for it, to be honest. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Oakland is a hustle paradise. You can find
Yes.
different things to do, but morally, I wouldn't sell drugs because I seen the effect that it had on people. So I didn't want to hurt nobody. You know what I'm saying? Because
Right.
I seen the hurt I'd be causing doing it, but I didn't see no hurt in doing credit card, because if I take your credit card, right, your number,
Mm-hmm.
you find out, you cancel your card, the bank give you money back, and it really no
Exactly.
loss to you, and the bank is insured. So
Right.
in my mind, I didn't think I was hurting anybody.
So in your mind, you taking free money.
Hold on, one more thing. I didn't inconvenience you either, because if I take your card, I know how much you got on there. So I'm not gonna burn you out. I'm gonna hit it with a little bit. You probably even know I hit it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I have a plethora of them, and I only use expensive locations. I didn't use somebody's address from the hood. You have to be by Redondo Beach, Malibu, all that shit.
So you were using cards that you taking $2,000-$3,000 off. They don't even see it.
No, I ain't even taking that much.
Okay. Oh, not even that much.
Not even that much. I didn't go over $1,000 on nobody's card.
Okay.
And I was only doing plain. I had a black market traveling service.
Okay. Okay, go ahead.
I didn't go buy no damn clothes. I ain't go no stores. I ain't print no cards. I ain't do nothing. I had a black market travel agency.
So you were getting people tickets
that they couldn't afford.
Exactly. Wow. So so let me say this. This is so funny and how the world works. When I was living in California,
right,
I had a manager, and this manager, I would be able to travel,
right,
and always I flew first class all the time. I couldn't afford it,
right,
but I was always flying first class and all that, and I was paying attention, but I wasn't paying attention. I was just happy I had the ability to go do what I needed to do. Right. But it would always be like, here's the flight, da, da, da. Oh, no, don't do that one. You got to do this one. And I was like, something don't seem right. And I'm like, something don't seem right. And lo and behold, he ended up getting popped off, and he was doing credit card fraud.
Right.
So this is how, but as a result of it, I got to fly first class at least 10 times between LA, New York, and I was going to Vegas just on a whim, because from LA to Vegas is nothing. Right. So, yeah, but so when you did that, when you got caught, what was that like? Because I know it was almost like you going from fame and fortune to trying to get back, and now you're about to face jail time, Fed jail time. What was that like?
It was very surreal, you know. I was like, damn, I didn't know what to expect. Well, one thing about me, I only do shit I can stomach. So I didn't, I knew I was doing wrong, and I knew that I could potentially get caught one day, and I was going to do what I had to do. But I didn't know what the outcome was going to be, but I would tell you that experience helped me out a great deal. Like, I've met some good people in there that I'm still cool with to this day, that we are the best of friends, because we all at our lowest points in our life, and all we had was each other. So it's like a real fraternity, man. Those some of my best friends right now. Right. So I talk to them daily.
Yeah. I mean, and being incarcerated and living with somebody every day for 4 years will make you develop a bond. And when
everybody moved. Like, they know when you're having a bad day. They know when you're at, they know what time you're eating. You know, we knew each other like nobody else knew nobody, because we was there in the trenches together. So, hey, man, it just taught me not to be insecure, because you have no control when you're in jail. You can't be worried about what your woman doing, because she's going to do it anyway. You can't stop nothing. So it just taught you a whole bunch of strength values that you wouldn't have learned on the street.
Okay. So let me ask you this. When you were incarcerated, even before you got incarcerated, or when you were incarcerated, was there ever a time in your mind and in your being and just spiritually, you just wanted to give up? You said, you know what? Why is all this happening to me? I don't even want to do this no more. I just, man, I don't want to be.
Nah, I didn't. I just feel like I'm going through something, and I get through it. I ain't never like gonna throw in the towel. I'm not a quitter like that.
Yeah,
you know, I'm a competitor, and I would never like see myself as losing anything. So
right.
I had bad days for sure.
Right.
But I ain't never throwing the towel like, oh my God, I want to give it up. No.
That's why you're the CEO of your company right now. And let me ask you this: how, I know you are always a man of faith. When did you decide, or when did your faith? When did you get to the point where you had to totally just, you know what? I'm gonna get back to the basics. I'm gonna get back to my roots. I know who I am. I know whose I am. This is what I have to do. And did you start praying again? Did you just start believing again? What did you start doing to get back and go beyond those tough days?
Okay, that's funny you said praying, because I'm gonna give you some real profound stuff right now.
Okay.
While I was incarcerated, of course, that's your lowest moment of your life. So that was my only chance to read the Bible. Okay, I read it and I was like, wow. And what I read was different than what I thought I was gonna read. It was a lot of killing and all kind of stuff. The Bible's an action-packed book, man. You know, and I was like, damn.
It is. It really is.
So I read 2 Bibles, like one with my bunkie when I was in the hole, and one chapter and verse said he was punished by a sword, and I went to sleep and I traded the other Bible with my partner. Man, the same chapter, same verse said he was punished by a scorpion, and I'm like, hold up. So I put both Bibles together, and I was like, you can't make this type of mistake. Like a blade, knife, sword, I could have let that ride. But when he said he was punished by a scorpion, and the other one said he was punished by a sword, that kind of turned me off of that. So I closed that. And then the book's supposed to be the book of truth. So, okay, you define God in Revelations as skin of bronze, hair like wool, but you put a white face, long, stringy blonde hair, nothing that describes what you put in the book of truth. So I'm a profound thinker. So I'm like, if you're lying about this in the book of truth, what else are you lying about? So I just go with my faith and spirit in my heart.
Okay.
Because God has showed me He's real. But the teachings, I don't follow that. Because I think everybody confusing the hell out of everybody.
And you know, the thing about that is, I think we have to come to a realization in our mind when we know what the truth is, and there are things that we take to be true. And I think this is the thing about the Bible. There's so many different. Like, I like the way you said it's an action-packed book, because there's killing, stealing, destroying, homosexualism,
fornication,
incest, incest. There's everything in there.
Yeah.
So I think that that you have to be able to understand that reading the Bible is everything that happens in real life, right? So you have to find your truth, and you have to find your way to deal with it. And I think we have to respect people and respect their decisions and respect what they think and what they believe. Right?
Yeah, we just need to teach each other and not debate about it, because also they said Adam and Eve was the first man and woman created on earth. Okay? That's 6,000 years ago. But I found out, everybody else can find out, they do a little reading, that it was African life existence before Adam and Eve. So how do Adam and Eve trump that?
Yeah. See, so yeah. That's another interview.
That's right. Let's stop.
That's a whole other interview.
Let's stop. Right. So I just want to know where that's where I'm at mentally. That's why I'm like, I got questions. That's it.
Yeah. But you know, I'll say this, and this is my last piece on that, is you should always have questions. You should always, and people, preachers, teachers, if someone has questions, You should be able to ask the questions, and you guys can talk about it. You can agree to disagree. Exactly. And I don't think anyone should get offended because people have questions about the Bible and different things and different religions. It's always one of those things where, you know, the Bible, we know over years has been manipulated. There's so many different versions of the Bibles and interpretations of the Bible. So you have to have questions, and it makes you an individual, and it makes you curious, you know. Right. So I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, my thing is, man, I ain't trying to get nobody to think like me. I believe what I believe. I'm gonna stand on it. I mean, you can think what you want to, but I got questions.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
Like I said, God did things for me. I know for a fact that He's real, you know, and straight up. So I ain't like no atheist or nothing, but I don't believe everything nobody tell me either.
Right. Yeah. And because if you do, you become a puppet.
Yeah.
I'm cutting the string from the puppeteers.
That's it.
That's it. So man, let me say this, EB. It's cool to sit down and talk to you, brother, because my whole thing is to inspire, educate, and motivate people. And I think that people, and it's giving a voice to the people. I believe that people have the right to express their views and their feelings, and I believe that people can agree to disagree. I believe that people have their own mind and thoughts and feelings. And when I think about, so it's so funny because when I always thought about Tony Tone Toni, all I ever thought about was good music. All I ever thought about was it feels good. All I ever thought about was, you know, Can You Stand the Rain or whatever, you know, It Never Rains in Southern California. I never took in consideration that, hey, these are real people, real human beings that might go through things just like us. And seeing you and you telling your story and having the courage to tell your story and your truth, I think that is super dope because people need to hear that, because people need to understand and learn from it. So let me ask you this. What's next? What's next for you, EB?
Man, you know, I did the documentary, so now I'm a film director. You know what I'm saying? I know I was going to be a film. So I'm a film director now. I plan on using the documentary as a tool to get our music out there with 3TOB, Park Avenue. Jubu have his own projects. Amar have his own projects. Virgil have his own projects. Carl, Antron, and so on. So I'm using the documentary as a bridge the gap so everybody can hear my music through that, our music, and then we try to go to the next level, you know?
Okay. Well, if you get a chance to, I got a couple movies on Netflix, and just put my name in and check them out, man. And,
which one are they? So that I can share.
Black and Privilege is one of them. That's Black and Privilege. Professor Mac, and then I have oh man, on Amazon Prime, if you type Simeon Henderson in, all of my I got about 8 movies pop up, or even on YouTube. But it's one of those things where I want to tie in with brothers like you, and we have to uplift each other and push what we're doing. And even I would love to even collaborate with you on some things, because you have a brilliant mind, brother. And
yeah, let's hook up, man. Give me the movie, man. I think I'm ready right now, man. I think I'm trying to hook a brother up, man.
So we're gonna have to talk. we're gonna have to talk. So yeah, man. So man, I appreciate you taking the time. I appreciate you taking the time to just sit down and talk with me and let people get a glimpse and a view of where you come from, the things you've been through, and where you're at right now. And I just really think it's important for us to share our stories, and I appreciate you for that, brother.
Man, thank you for having me, bro.
Hey, no problem. So we will be in touch, and we'll be talking. And I appreciate you and everybody that tuned in to the Simeon Henderson Show during this hour. Thank you, guys. And make sure you follow my brother at EB. So at Elijah _EB underscore Baker.
IG on Twitter, on Facebook. It's just Elijah EB on Facebook, Baker, but Twitter and IG is Elijah _EB _Baker.
Okay. So, hey, we'll stay in tune, brother. Big shout out to my brother Shelton Smith for introducing us. Now I got me a new friend.
And Nicole.
Yes.
Jack, you know, yeah.
I got me a new friend for life, Mr. E.B. Baker, y'all. And
I hooked up too, man. You know.
Hey, you good. You good. so as you continue to grow and blow, we got you right here on the Simeon Henderson Show. And
it's legit though. I do a lot of flight attendants now, man. So
see, oh, so you can move. That's good. Good.
Yeah.
All right, EB. So I thank you everybody for tuning in. We'll see you guys next time on the Simeon Henderson Show, where we're giving a voice to the people. Be cool and take care. Be symbolic. Simply your best. Peace.
All right. Be good, man. Bye.